Alright guys, I told y'all that I'd put a video together on loading a black powder revolver. We're going to be loading the Pieta Remington Army 1858 model. I recommend the Army over the Navy simply because it's much easier to do a cylinder change out. This one, you're able to just pull this down, pull this out, and then it just rolls right out on the half cock. And there you go. Then you put it back in the same way. Make sure that's out all the way. Push it in, pop it up, and it's done. With the Navy, it's got a wedge that you got to knock out. You got to have a tool to do that, and then you're going to have a tool to put it back in. So we're just going to be, they load the same, the cylinder swap out's different. So I'm going to be using the Pyrodex pellets. This is 30 grain pellet. I don't like using regular black powder just because it's too messy. This is so much cleaner. This is what it looks like. So it's just a little old pellet, real clean and easy. It drops in. It's 30 grain load right there. So these are the Pyrodex pellets, and you can get these just about anywhere, you know, at a gun shop or something like that. I picked these up at my local gun shop. Then we're going to be using these lubed wads. I use lube, you don't have to. I prefer it. I got these at Cabela's, ordered them online. Then we'll be using .454 lead balls. I got these at my local gun shop as well, or you can order them at Cabela's. And then for this exercise, I'm going to be using number 11 caps. The number 10s are real hard to come by. I do have number 10s, but I'm going to use up the rest of my number 11s before I go on there. All you got to do when you're using these is pinch them closed a little bit so they'll sit on there when you put them on the nipple. So they are a little bit bigger than the 10s, but I've been able to use them just fine. I've used a couple hundred of these already, and I've had no problems with them falling off. Just make sure you squeeze it, and you'll get used to it after you do it a few times. So basically, I've got this set up in the order that you do to load. I am doing it outside. I prefer to do it outside. I don't like doing stuff in the house like this. It's just a quirk I have. If it's a little windy out here, I'm sorry. Hopefully it won't affect the sound too much on the video. So oh, and I forgot to tell you about our lube. This is called Wonder Seals, and instead of like they used to do in the old days, flip out a bunch of that old Vaseline or Crisco or, you know, whatever type of oil or goop that they wanted to put on top of here to stop it from stopping the fire from jumping to one sealer to another. Some people still do it that way. These work great. It's just a wax seal. Hadn't opened these yet. It don't want to come off. There we go. Alright, so it's just a wax seal. Looks like that, already pre-cut. And it just will sit on top of everything when you're done with it. And it's just a safety precaution, because when these things do fire off, fire does go out. And some people believe it can happen. I think it's probably possible that it could jump from one to another, but that's what this is designed to prevent. They're not very cheap. You can get them by the 100. I got this from Cabela's online as well. Alright. Some people do this on a stand. I don't. I like just doing it by hand. I don't like spending any more money than I have to. Okay, what you want to do is half cock your gun. That's a half cock, and now this will turn freely once you half cock it. Alright. I like doing all six tubes with one thing at a time. That way I try not to forget anything. It's very impossible for me to put two of these in, but it is possible for me to leave one out and miss it. I think I've done that once. And so you start out by putting your Pyrodex pellet in, and it just drops in the side. No big deal. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. Now all I'm doing is dropping it right inside of here, okay? That is 5. And that is 6. Okay? 6 of them are in. I do want to look down it just to make sure I'm right. Yep. Alright, now you want to put your wads in. These are lubed wads again. I prefer to use lubed wad. It's better for your weapon. Alright. So just put it in. I'm going to set them all in, but then you need to push them down, but I'll do that in a minute. 2. If you don't push them all down when you're doing it, then you can see that you got 1 in each hole. Alright, same thing. I'm just sitting in the mirror and I'm pushing, and that's what you end up with. And number 6. Okay, so when I spin this, you can see they're sitting on top right there. Okay, now I'm just going to take those and I'm just going to push them down lightly. You don't want to push down hard. You don't want to crush that Pyrodex pellet. And I'm just going to get them down. And I'm just using this lever thing, easy enough. And that's the last one, okay? Alright, no big deal. Now we go with the balls. Okay, just set it on there. Alright, you spin it under and push down. And you're going to have to use a little bit of force. Alright, once it breaks, it goes all the way in. Don't try and over force it in. Once it's in, it's in. You probably won't be able to see this, but if I pull it out, a good ball seat will give you a little sliver, just like that. You do want to make sure you get that out of there if possible. Okay? So that's 1. Two. 3. There's that sliver. 4. 5. And I like leaving that down just like it is now, because I'm able to drop this ball in there, and I know that I won't try and put one in another hole, because you can try and get it started, then you're going to have a problem. And this will be number 6. Alright. And again, a little sliver. Oops, I dropped it. No big deal. Anyway, it's gone. So I can tilt it just slightly so I can look in there and I can see all 6 balls in there. Alright. Now we're going to put our Wonder Seals on top. Alright, now I do this a little different. Everybody's going to find their own way. I'm going to put them all in first. And right now they will fall out. 3. You don't really have to count. I can see these in there, no problem. You can see them right there, no problem. It's not like you've got to look down the barrel to figure it out. Alright, so they're all in. Alright, so what I like doing is I do not like using this to push down on it, because it wants to push it up and out. So I just take my little pinky finger And I just take it and I push it down and seat it in there and spread it out a little bit. And you're basically just wanting to seal over the ball so nothing can jump over. It's highly unlikely it would happen, since you can tell that those lead balls are fitted in there very tightly, so tight that it shaves off lead. So the chances of it jumping over and actually getting to the black powder that's under the wad, by the way, is slim and none, but I still highly recommend using these just in case. There's probably some folks out there that may disagree, and that's okay. You can load your gun how you want. I just don't want to take no chances when I'm responsible for it. So if you got too big of fingers or whatever, you know, you might try and get something else, but this works real well. Or if you use this, things get awful messy real quick, and you could pull it out. So if you want to press it down a little bit, it's probably, see what it just did. See that? I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me turn around here. See the wax right there on it? It's because I pushed down and it pushed up on it. So made a big old mess. That's why you don't do that. It's not the end of the world. It ain't gonna hurt your gun, but it just makes it for an awful messy situation. All right, this is ready to load. I'm gonna put another one in there because some of it came out and I don't like it. So I'm just gonna put one on top. Ain't gonna hurt. Those things fire out no problem. All right, so now you can see the lube on top and all the cylinders. Alright, so that is good to go. Now the only thing left to do is put the caps on, and then it's ready to shoot. Obviously when the caps go on, then your weapon is 100% fully armed. So make sure that you keep this thing pointed in a safe direction. Go ahead and seal all this up. Alright. Get my number 11s. Remember, this calls for number 10s, but number 11s will work. You just have to squeeze them so that when it sits on there, it's tighter on these nipples. Let me just go ahead and let me show you that. Now here's the real cool part. Okay. With all this being done, I can pull this out right here. Okay. See, it's all the lube. And then you can see the nipples back here in the back is where your caps go. Okay. Pretty neat. These are a lot of fun to shoot. Everybody just loves shooting these. My wife loves shooting these. So ain't nothing hard about it, that is for sure. Alright, it's ready to go. Remington number 11s. So if I just put it on there just like it is, it would fall off. The first time you shot, it would fall off. It could fall off even before you shot. So you just take them and you just give it a pinch, get it to squeeze down, and you'll figure out what's right and what's wrong. There's a little notch. There's a little notch in your gun on this side, on the right side of the gun. And that is the side that you're supposed to be working on. This side doesn't have it. Okay, there's no notch right here. This is the side where the notch is that you should be working on. It's designed for that. Okay, you do have to have this on half cock. Alright, so this will spin freely. Alright. My pinch number 11. And these things are kind of tiny. They do make a tool. The tools, I don't like it. I just rather use my hands. But if you're big fingered, you might want to use the tool. Alright. There's one. Give it a squeeze. I think I'm going to go ahead and squeeze 6 of these. Or 5. I got one on. And you can squeeze these too much, but you can just squeeze it in the other direction and it'll fix just fine. I'm in for a treat. I'm gonna let my wife shoot this when we're done. Alright, so you just roll it, get to the next nipple, push it on. And just do that all the way around. See, see, it went on nice and tight. If you gotta kind of force it on a little bit, that's good. The tighter the better. Like that one's real tight. It's not gonna come off for sure. Alright, last one. And that's it. Now, it is fully armed. I'm on the half cock, so what I want to do is, if you'll see right here, okay, there's a notch between that and that right there. There's a notch. And that is where I rest it. Some people will leave one of the cylinders empty, one of the chambers empty, and they'll rest it on the empty one. The gun's designed to be set right there. There's a notch spot for it right there. And so I just put it there, and now it is resting on that notch. So, and you can pull this trigger all day long. Okay, you've got to pull this back to fire the trigger every single time. So that is ready to go, and we'll be right back when we're ready to shoot it. Again, let me just one more time. Okay, Pyrodex pellets. Now it's a 44 caliber, and so if you get a 36 caliber, you do not want to go with 30 grains. You need to see what the max load on that is. And when you get the gun, it'll come with a deal that tells you the max load, or you can find it on, just Google it. So these are Pyrodex pellets, 30 grain for the 44 caliber. Don't go any higher than that. The wads, the lubed wads that you can get at Cabela's, online, you can order it online. And then you've got the .454 for a 44 caliber. The ball size is .454. At least for the Remington Armies. And then you've got your Wonder Seals, which goes on that. And then you got your number 10s, number 10 caps. But remember, if you can't find number 10s, number 11s will work. You just got to pinch it down. We'll be back to shoot it in just a minute. Alright guys, here we go. My lovely wife has agreed to shoot the weapon for us. One of the things that I do want to show you is that this is very, very, very clean. Okay, nothing. Okay, there's nothing on here. I mean, I keep my guns very, very clean. I do that because I want to show you what it does after we shoot it. These things put off a lot of smoke. They're black powders, and so she's going to fire it all 6 times. I'm going to plug one ear because I got the camera with the other hand. Let's look, watch, hardly no recoil when she shoots at it. And this is a 44 caliber. Look at all that smoke. Wow, it smells good. Hardly no recoil on that 44 caliber, and it will put a hole in you. Look at her, quick draw on the draw. She's gonna smell like smoke now for a week. How many is that?
I think that's it.
All right. Now, don't touch that, it's all dirty.
Yeah.
Flip it around. Now what I wanted to show you is when you wipe it off, look at that dirt. Look at all that dirt, all that smoke. It is all over the gun now. It's everywhere. Messy, messy. Now, Pyrodex is actually cleaner than regular powder. If that was regular powder, it would be 10 times worse. So I'll break down cleaning it in just a minute. Be right back. Alright guys, now we're just going to go over real quick cleaning. You'll need just a regular old flathead screwdriver because you're going to want to take this little screw out. Okay, it's just a flathead. Get these grips off of here. It's just one flathead screwdriver that holds them in. Okay, pulls right off. Comes right off. This is what you're left with. Okay. Alright, now you want to take this off. Okay, so now you got these two things. What do you do with them? Well, this is what I... Alright, my recording jumped. So basically, all I do with them is drop them in some hot soapy water. We'll let them sit there for a little bit, and then you'll be able to just get your rag and a brush, clean down in your cylinders. It's not that big a deal. You'll know when it's clean because it'll quit coming off on your hands. I also do use, I don't just do that. I use some M&P Pro 7, but it doesn't matter what it is. It's a gun cleaner, just because I like being thorough. And then I got some spray on oil. You definitely want to keep these oiled. If you don't, they will rust. And so I'll clean it in there, then I'll use those. Remember to wash your hands because of the lead. You definitely don't want to end up with lead poisoning and things of that nature. So if you have any questions, shoot me. Go to Texas Carry on Facebook and shoot me a question or whatever you have, or private message me, and I'll be glad to answer them. Thank you so much. Take care.